about you're missing other guys.
Yeah, I mean, we had a brief, more like a walkthrough and some team shooting work the other night. We can't practice in the morning, so it was a Saturday evening workout. But it's mostly about the film. You highlight, like everything you do all year, you highlight the positives that guys are when guys play well. And you can make sure they understand, the group understands, why they played well, and you want to enforce, that those execution pieces, and that was the case with the way Cruz got going in the fourth quarter the other night. Hopefully, we can build off it.
All right, there's Frank Vogel and Ali. By the way, over 10,000 humpback whales in Hawaii. Little known fact.
Yeah.
Did you research that, or do you just know that?
No, I looked that up.
Oh, I was about to say, that's really impressive.
Right here, right on Google.
Those things called phones. Thanks so much, Mike. Stay right here for the Lakers and Warriors. Steph Curry got some help yesterday in taking down the Jazz. Andrew Wiggins scored a season-high 28 points. Lakers held him to just 3 points in the last meeting. And coming up on Access, fresh off his 24-point performance, we'll catch up with Kyle Kuzma as he goes one-on-one with Mike Trudell. Time to fire up the Kuz bus, Rob.
I'll wait for the trans bus.
So,
we want to welcome in our Lakers insider, Mike Bresnahan. Time for Brez's three-point play. 3 things that you were looking forward to in this game, Brez. You want to begin with KCP and something he did last game.
Yeah, we talk a lot about him in the three-point play, don't we?
We do.
Maybe we need to rename it after him or something. But I like what he did defensively. And keep in mind, that's why the Lakers acquired him. They wanted a guy who can play defense primarily and make some threes as well. We'll get to that last part in a second here. But I thought the other night he was great. Had a big steal off the inbounds pass with 8.5 seconds left. Not much offense from him, though. Only scored 7 points, and that's been kind of the theme for him. He was so instrumental in that playoff run last year. Strong start to the season. There you see the steal, the inbounds. But the three-point touch has not been kind to him since February, shooting only about 30% from deep. The other problem, he's not really taking a lot of threes either. He took only 2 in that game against Indy, and he made none of them. So good defensively. That's good for KCP. I'd like to see him pick up the shot a little bit, though.
Someone who knows the three ball all too well. Let's talk a little Steph Curry, because he is on the verge of creating some history tonight.
Yeah, it's funny, Ali, I feel like LeBron every week is passing someone on some sort of career chart, whether it's an NBA list or a Laker list or something. Tonight, it's Steph who's going to be doing that, presumably. He's only 1 assist behind the guy he's trailing, Guy Rodgers, for the all-time assist leader for the Golden State franchise. We got some graphics here to show you. By the way, Guy Rodgers played in the 50s and 60s for the Warriors. They were still Philly for part of that back in the day. So it's been a long time coming. Steph Curry having a very good season. You showed some highlights of him. And you'll remember he played only 5 games last year. He really had trouble with injuries and everything. Not the case this season. He has come back strong, and he has been fun to watch. He's also on my fantasy team. Just a little bit of an aside for you there.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. He's definitely done me proud in that department. But tough task for the Warriors. They're going to have to decide what to do. You just showed the standings. They're 9th. Right now, that means you're a play-in team. So do they try to maybe, go for another appearance in the lottery? Or do they try to, maybe try to get some momentum, maybe even finish above the play-in, which would be, 8, 9 this year? 7, 8, 9, 10, I want to say. They have to decide what to do. They're in that Netherland right now, though.
They've certainly made up for the way the season did start.
Absolutely.
Playing great basketball.
Yeah.
Lastly, you have some more information for us on Jared Dudley?
Yeah, Jared Dudley, kind of sad to talk about this, but he tore the MCL in his right knee. Now, it's not the ACL, so that's the good news if there is some. And it happened actually a couple weeks ago, the last game before the All-Star break against Sacramento. In the second quarter, he hurt that knee, and he left. Did not play against Indiana last Friday. The team was hoping it was merely a bone bruise, but an MRI exam showed indeed that he has a torn MCL. So now he has to decide, does he want to sit out, hopefully it heals on its own over a long period of time, or does he indeed want to go under the knife? And that's also obviously quite a big recovery. Disappointing because, he's so well-liked, so respected by his teammates. Those are really the big reasons why the Lakers brought him back for this season. And we'll see when he does come back. But he has to decide first, go under the knife or just let it heal naturally.
Well done, as always, by you. We'll certainly keep our eye on that.
Yeah.
Before we head to break, Laker fans, this is your moment. If you want to be our featured fan of the game, check out our Spectrum Sportsnet Twitter feed and reply to our Modelo Fighting Spirit fan of the game post with a photo or video of you in your Lake Show gear. Show your love for the purple and gold, and we'll show our fan of the game tonight on the road, taking on the Warriors. Tomorrow, they're back home facing the T-Wolves, 7:30 tip. Thursday, home against the Hornets, 7:30. Saturday, it's an early one, home against the Atlanta Hawks, 12:30 p.m. tip. And then Sunday, back on the road against the Phoenix Suns. Prior to yesterday's tip-off, injured Warriors star Klay Thompson addressed the media for the first time this season.
2020 was just such a year of reckoning, not only for the pandemic, but for the social justice. I mean, we lost so many innocent people to violence. It was awful. Kobe going out and Gigi. And then on top of that, in the fall, I tear my Achilles. It was just probably the worst year of my life, guys. Lost my grandmother. So it feels good to be back here. I feel love when I'm back in the Warriors facility. My roots are here, and it was not easy on anybody. Everyone had their own little trials and tribulations through 2020, but that was it for me. Was losing my grandma Mary, tearing my Achilles, and I mean, I still think about Kobe every single day. There's not a day I don't think about him, and not being able to have that last convo with him, and just, it was a tough year, guys. Not only for me, but I'm sure for all of you, and it was just, I'm looking forward to the future. That's for sure.
Amen, Klay. Amen. Good stuff there from him. Let me ask you, Big Game, do you think when Klay returns that the Warriors go back to title contention, or do we think that that kind of mood for the Warriors is kind of past?
No, I don't think it's past, particularly if they keep their nucleus intact. You got Draymond Green there, who's plays very well when Klay's in the lineup. Steph Curry, you got a nice little trio, and something easy to build around, which Steve Kerr seems to be doing now with some of his younger talent. He's going to have some opportunities to trade, and so when Klay comes back, and I think he'll be optimistic, looking at what Kevin Durant was able to do and come back. So, yeah, Klay Thompson is definitely a guy. When you add him just about on any team with another elite player, they become final contenders and championship quality.
I mean, it is so crazy to think he went from the ACL to then the Achilles, and he's coming back from both of those injuries. But it's hard to doubt him.
When you have two like that, I think of a guy that we had at the Lakers, a guy that the Warriors had, and that's Boogie Cousins. Boogie didn't look anything like he used to. I know he had one more injury with the thigh, and I love Klay to death, and I hope he comes back 100, but I don't see him coming back being the Klay that was a lockdown defender. And that was his, outside of his shooting ability, that was one of the things that made that Warrior team good. So now you're going to lose that defensive presence. And we know Draymond doesn't guard like he used to, and Steph never really was elite guard. So I don't see them getting back to being a team that's competing for the championship. They're going to be in the playoffs, but they're going to be competing for a championship because they don't have the defensive presence like they would have 3 or 4 years ago when they was winning titles. So that's the only thing for me that's going to keep them out of the hunt of getting a chip, because the rest of those guys on that team, you look at that team, it's like, there's really anybody on that team can play defense. So that's what I'm worried about. Unless they make some good picks or get some good draft picks or pick somebody up in the in the offseason, I don't see it. That's
a good point about Klay, because it's easy to get lost in his scoring and the way he can score the basketball, but he is one of the game's best two-way players on the defensive end as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're going to know a lot about the Warriors over the next week and a half. The trade deadline a week from Thursday. Keep in mind, Kelly Oubre, an expiring contract. They could deal him if they wanted to. And they also have the T-Wolves, first-round draft pick. Now, it is top 3 protected. But if it falls to 4, the Warriors, once again, could have a really good draft pick in June to go with James Wiseman, the younger guy who's the center for them. So it could be some turnover for the Warriors. I'm like you, Rob. I just don't know what they're going to look like next season. How will Klay be? Is Wiggins going to be traded during the offseason? Right now, they're kind of lingering as a fringe playoff team. Don't know if I see a championship in their future, though. A lot of things have to happen.
Time will certainly tell. As we look at tonight's matchup, it possesses, we talked about LeBron and Steph, energy guys, Draymond Green, Rob, and your guy, Trez. Oh, that's always fun.
This is one of those matchups you want to get your popcorn, you want to sit back and watch, because these are two guys that don't take anything from no one. And it's just like those two big bulls on the hill, you know, they're going nose to nose. And it's just going to be fun to watch. You know, the only thing is, you know, Draymond shoot a little bit more threes, like you say that, but it's going to be a battle in the paint. And it's just some trash talking. This is the time that I want to have the mic on the floor, let us hear everything that's going on, because those guys are two of the biggest trash talkers in the game, and I just love the match. I'm excited, man. It's almost as exciting as going to the wall. Let's go.
Brez?
Yeah, you know what I love about Draymond? So he kind of cost them a game a few weeks ago. He had a late technical against, I believe it was Charlotte. Charlotte got some free throws. They had this big comeback in the final 10 seconds. And Draymond's like, you know, I feel so terrible. That's not going to happen again. The very next game, maybe 2 games later, he and Trez are mixing it up on the court when the Lakers are playing the Warriors. So I just love how he has a quick memory, so to speak, but he is always in the middle of something on the court. Cannot take your eyes off him.
Yeah, I'm the only one that still thinks the Warriors have a chance, huh?
Yeah?
No, Big Game, I'm actually with you.
I still think they have a chance.
I'm with you, too.
With some changes, but yeah, I don't think Draymond.
Let him be on that. He just left an island. Let him stay on that island by himself.
I want to go to that island.
Draymond, you know, he knows who he can deal with and who not. I don't think he has too much lip service for Trez. He better be cool. You know, it'd be like if Dennis Rodman was still playing, or Anthony Mason, or Charles Oakley.
Ooh.
You know, I don't think Draymond would be as, you know, vocal as he is. Now, he's in a different decade. He does have, you know, a reputation, but tonight he's going up against an old school guy mentality, so he needs to relax.
Rob, you and Oakley ever mix it up a little bit?
I made a foolish mistake of yelling at Oakley one time, and it was in the playoffs, and he didn't do anything, but I look back on that moment like, what were you thinking? But I got away with it.
That might have been my first moment experiencing you with some humility right there. Wow. I like it.
Boom.
Wow.
Might have been a foolish mistake on my part. Lakers and Warriors will tip off in a little over a half hour. After the break, Kyle Kuzma goes one-on-one with Mike Trudell. What's the next step for him to improve his game? But first, a look back at one of LeBron's best finishes from 3 years ago today.
Turned the corner inside.
Kyle Kuzma, growth has been the name of the game when it comes to the fourth-year Laker forward. And on Friday versus the Indiana Pacers, it was no different. He was a one-man wrecking crew when the Lakers needed it the most. Lake Show down 8 heading to the fourth. Kuz scored 15 of his 24 in the final 12 minutes, finishing with another double-double on the season. 24 points, 13 boards. How does he keep it going on the road in San Fran tonight? Kuz joins Mike Trudell.
All right, guys, Kyle Kuzma kind enough to join us on the pregame show from Golden State. And Kuz, I want to start last game in that fourth quarter, the rhythm that you got in early. 15 of your 24 came in that period. And just wondered what you were seeing out of that screen roll action with LeBron and also with Montrezl Harrell, and how you guys were able to take advantage of Indy.
Yeah, I think that was something that really helped us out during that game, playing in that screen and roll. Obviously, we knew, you know, the Pacers, they like to play a deep drop coverage and defensively with their 5. So, you know, with Trez, it makes sense to put him in pick and roll. But, you know, anytime you have LeBron out there, they don't necessarily, defenses, they don't really want to switch the guy they have on Bron. So, you know, that leads to a lot of blitzes and a lot of short roll actions for other players. And we just took advantage of it.
Hey, there aren't that many players in the league, Kuz, that can come off the bench and do all of the role player things that you've been doing increasingly well, whether that's defending or rebounding, and then still give you 25, you know, if needed in a certain situation. Do you have to fluctuate your mindset at all for that, or have you just learned how to be able to flow back and forth through what you've been through these last couple of years?
You know, I've just been able to learn and adjust. You know, I think over the past couple of years, I've just become, you know, just an all-around complete player. Outside a little bit of passing and playmaking, which is a work in progress. But, you know, with everything else, you know, it just all comes from, you know, having a foundation. That foundation is just playing hard. And, you know, I feel like when I'm playing hard, I'm able to still be in the game without touching the ball. So whether that's rebound, defending, and it's trying to find ways to keep a rhythm. So.
Hey, you just mentioned the passing and the playmaking and how that could be an area that you still could grow in. You're playing with one of the all-time greats there in LeBron. Are there things that you notice, whether it's with his game or just other teammates, maybe Rondo last year? What are the things that you can get better at, and how do you think you go about that?
I think, yeah, definitely. That's the next progression in my game. Obviously, with becoming a playmaker, you have to have the ball in your hands. So, that's just a work in progress. So, for me, it's all about, making the right. And, I may not have a shot, but I know there's going to be a guy on the weak side, or a big comes up and helps. I can throw the lob. It's just those certain instances that can really, really help propel my game even higher. So.
Last thing for you, Kuz. So obviously playing against the Warriors today, you've seen them twice already. Once in January, once in February. Tonight, no Marc Gasol, no Anthony Davis, no Caruso. Most likely, what are the things that you have to do to maintain the level of play in which you beat Golden State in February and try to get another victory today on the road?
Man, we got to get stops, and we got to play in transition. I think when we beat them, we had 22 fast break points, got out in the mix, got stops, and that game was one of our better games shooting the ball from three. So if we can do those things and just continue to do what we do, hopefully we can be fine.
All right, Kuz, appreciate the time, man.
Yep, thanks, Drew.
Rob in the break said, give me my flames. It is time for Access 360, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Good times
Good
again.
time.
27-9.
Drop it low, Rob.
Drop it low is right. You're talking defense. Go to your wall.
We're talking a little bit of offense. There's not many times I get excited, but I'm getting excited because, Allie, I want you to, do a little study, and at the end, I'm going to quiz you and understand why I'm excited about this wall. Right here, you get Trez set another pick. Now you got LeBron set another pick. LeBron is just, he's just navigating. He's trying to figure out what he want to do because that's the kind of IQ he has. Right now, you see Trez set this pick. He has that lane, a little hesitation, and he drops it off to Trez for a slam dunk. And what do we need more of that? All the time we need more of that. All the time. Right here we got Trez again. Hit for the quiz. Hit. Trez sets another pick. LeBron comes off that. Look, he got 1, 2, 3 defenders around. Look, he got his options on where he can throw this ball. But now he goes to the corner. Kuz bust. Bam. A little floater a la LeBron. Fading away for a little jumper. Right here. Now LeBron is just facing up. One of my favorite things on a guy. You can face up. You see all the defenders. Right here. Trez sets a little pick. Look here. The big Sabonis comes over. Look, the other guy comes over the top. He goes for the steal and leaves the hottest man in the floor open. KK for 3. Right here. Another thing. Pop quiz right there. Another pick. Trez is right there setting the pick. Look, now LeBron gets open. LeBron knows what he can do over the top of Sabonis. Easy buckets in the paint. Now, Allie, why was I so excited to have flames for that right there?
Because they took advantage of the mismatch.
No, it had Trez in every clip. Come on, Allie, you know how I love Trez on the Trez bus. Now, come on. I just said pop quiz, and I pointed at Trez. Come on, man.
Miles Turner was out, and they took advantage.
No.
Trez took advantage. Your guys took advantage every time.
Trez has to be used by LeBron to pick and roll more often when AD is not in the game. It makes it easy because everybody respects Trez's ability to roll to the basket.
Well,
you got to do that more.
That's obvious. Wow,
you
just
fail
really
your pop
me.
quiz.
I failed?
That's like somebody from Ohio.
I said they took advantage
like an Ohio State fan. You're going to fail your quiz.
Big game, we're moving on.
Lou Gossett over there. What was that movie Lou Gossett was in?
Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer and a Gentleman. Lou Gossett up in here.
I feel like I passed that. I did not fail that quiz.
All right.
I give you a C+.
24 points, 15 in the fourth. AD is not in the game right now. This is a time for Kuz to really take advantage, scoring as well. He was big down the stretch, big game.
Yeah, and I like his interviews because he's cool, calm, and collective, understanding what his role is. But let me tell you something. When he's driving home after practice or after a shoot around and he's by himself in the car, he's like, damn, I'm getting ready to fire this up tonight. I'm getting ready to drop 20 or 30 because he knows this is a great opportunity for him. And he's waited patiently. He's done all the other things he's supposed to do. So now that he has that in his backpack, defense, rebound, and all that other stuff, now he can go back to doing what he does naturally and understanding it a little bit better, letting it come to him when AD's out of the game. I love his attitude and his approach to the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming close to 10 double-doubles on the season, which I would not have predicted 6 months ago. Kuz, a double-double threat? I mean, that's crazy talk right there. But it's easy to get fooled by what he did his first couple years in the league. You know, he had that big game in Houston. He had close to 40 points. Had another big game in Philadelphia. When he was young, with the kind of freewheeling Lakers, he could score a lot of points. Now we see a more complete, even a more complex Kyle Kuzma. And James, yeah, he can celebrate in the car when he wants to, when no one's looking, but when on camera, he is as smooth and as cool as can be.
I think I just want to add one thing to that. I think for him, he took the pressure off himself. Because you think about it, when Magic was here, he said, oh, Kuz is going to be our third scorer. Kuz is going to be this. Kuz is going to be that. And I think he put a lot of pressure on himself to go out and do things that he wasn't in his playbook or in his wheelhouse. So I think he took the pressure off him. Now he's just playing basketball. He said it a couple of times. He just goes out and play basketball and just have fun and enjoy the game. And that's the biggest thing to me, that he has no pressure on him, because he doesn't have to be that scorer, and he got that new deal.
Oh, yeah, hasn't even started yet. Kicks in next season, but it's coming.
That takes a lot of pressure off, Rob. That takes a lot of pressure off.
He kept it real when someone asked him right after the break in his media session, what's been the last year for him? What's that been like? His first response was, I got more money. I got paid a little bit more. Biggest change.
Be honest about that.
We're going to go inside access because the Lakers bench. Here's a pop quiz for you, Rob. Lakers bench has been consistent and efficient despite the various injuries and games missed by the starters. So far this month, the Lakers second unit is putting 42